Yeah. My ear. Oh my word, what a nightmare. Are you getting me? I got all rays coming down on me, look. I'm all lit up. I just need to know that you're getting me really, because it has been a bit of a nightmare. I was all set up in I was all set up in the Carousel Theatre, and it was absolutely brilliant because you've got massive windows with a view out the back. And then while I was all ready and waiting, one of the performers came to rehearse and was on the stage, and I thought, wow, this is going to be fantastic. And then I realised there was music playing, and it would have been picked up copyright. So I quickly then had to change venues, and I looked frantically round. I was going to thought I'll go and do the casino because there's a quiet bit up by one of the roulette wheels, and that got music playing as well. So then it was a dash back to my room, and oh my word, I'm sweating. And this isn't the best place to stream from, and it isn't really where I wanted to do it. Before I started, I went up to the Sky Bar, which is adults only. This morning when I was in there, it was peace and quiet, and I thought that's a great place. But I went up there, and because people are starting to come back from their excursions, it was absolutely ram-packed. So there was just nowhere else suitable to do it. So here I am back in my room. So what I might do, I'm sorry, I'll catch up with you all in a minute. What I might do is do a bit of talking, because I had an horrendous day yesterday. Oh my word. But we'll come to that in a minute. What I'll do is do a bit of talking, and then hopefully I can take you on a little bit of a tour around the ship. And at least try and show you the atrium or something. But anyway, let me have a look who's here. So David, I hope you're missing me, hubby. Missing you. Mwah. And Stuart, oh, Stuart saying hi to Dave, but hi, oh, hi. I am more positive today. And I really wanted to put that Facebook message out because yesterday was so bad. I could have cried yesterday, and I'll give you the story in a minute. And so I was so deflated yesterday. And so I got up this morning, and it's been 100% different. And I'll tell you why that's been different as well in a minute. So Thomas, yeah, I'm a lot better, mate. Thank you. Eagerly waiting, Dave. I hope you're eagerly waiting for me to come home. Probably queuing at the bar. Oh, tell me about it. It's been lovely this morning, though. The bars were really good. I got drinks. Oh, hold on. I got drinks all over the place because people had gone off the ship. And also, it was really a muggy, nasty morning. But the sun came out and it cleared away. And so that meant a lot of people went up to the slides, the ropes, the water slides, the pools, the jacuzzis. So it was lovely inside the ship, and I really managed to get round well. Cruising with the White, Alex and Ryan. Hello to you. Hope you're both good. Oh, Eileen, my lovely mother-in-law. Nice to see you here. Big kisses to you. Oh, there's me trying to connect. Yes, you were right, Dave. I couldn't get a signal. It was so frustrating. And as I say, the biggest problem was the lack of anywhere else to do it. So I had to dash back to my room. And I'm so gutted because the Carousel Bar was lovely with that performer rehearsing. I went to the Carousel last night, and it was such a good show. So I'll talk about that later, though, as well. I'm here now. I'm here now. Lynn and Dave, waiting in anticipation. Well, I hope you didn't get fed up of waiting and you're still here. Good to see you. Let's scroll down. Hey, sweet knits and pearls. Nice to see you here again. I've got to learn to say how to say hello in Swedish because it's great to have you here. And so appreciate you watching and commenting on all those videos. Yeah, I'm smiling again, Kerry. Yeah, I got here eventually, Lynn. Lorraine, hi, Lorraine. Donna's here. Hello, Donna. Elise, hi. Yeah, I made it. I'm going to try and give you a better view in a minute. It's very dark in these cabins. I don't know whether they plan it that way. John's here. Oh yeah, let me have a drink. So it's really dry, and for some reason my air conditioning isn't on. So it's I think probably all the running around I've done to try and get this going. I've got a bit of a sweat up. Let me have a drink. Cheers, everyone. And who else? Ian and Stacey. Well, it's always good to have Ian and Stacey here. Hope you're both keeping well. And that's it. I've caught up. So let's quickly tell you about yesterday. So yesterday I traveled down by train from well, it should have been Telford. Dave was going to drop me off at Telford, but unfortunately some people had been nicking some of the stuff from the lines, and so it meant that all trains to Wolverhampton were cancelled. So the trains I planned to get were no longer. So Dave had to drive me to Birmingham, bless him, which is a bit of a drive, but he got me to Birmingham station and I managed to catch the train from Birmingham. I really enjoyed the train ride down, and it was all so simple, really. If the sort of cancelled trains have happened, it would have been really good. But anyway, so I got down here and I was a little bit early, about an hour early, but right across the road from the train station is a Dunelm. Now, we love Dunelm by us because inside Dunelm is a Pausa cafe. So I thought, oh, I've got a bit of time to kill. I don't want to be too early and sort of push my luck. So I went across to Dunelm and I had a lovely cup of coffee there and wasted about half an hour. And then I recorded the walk to the Horizon port, and it was really simple. If you are cruising from Southampton, the walk from the train station took me about literally 5 minutes. And I recorded it, really simple, not complicated. So when the video comes out, don't book a hotel. If you've got time to get here on a train, then it is so easy. You don't need to fork out for the hotel. So moving on, first sight of the ship, absolutely fantastic. I mean, it is big. It is big, but when it comes into sight and you see the sheer size of it, it is like definitely wow, because it does take your breath away that these ships are getting so big. But onto the embarkation, I was about 25 minutes early, so about 25 to 1. I got let through, no problems at all. The minute you go into the hall, I've recorded most of this, so again, it'll be available at some time for you to see. I went into the hall, and am I still live? Because I can't see any comments, or am I just falling behind? No, so I hope I haven't dropped out. You go into the hall, and obviously the first thing you get is the security. Once through security, you go upstairs and you then sort of do your check-in, and then you board the boat. And it was quite strange because when you board Virtuosa, you come out in two places. One, you go straight into the atrium, which I'm not used to. Usually you come into and have to go up steps and whatever, but no, you came straight out in the atrium. And the atrium on Virtuosa certainly makes you go, wow, because, and I'm going to struggle to say this, oh, I'm glad it's still working. The atrium, when you walk in, is quite dazzling because it's got, now I'm going to make a fool of myself here, Swarovski, have I said that right? Crystals on the staircases and on the stage in the atrium. And it is quite breathtaking. And when you look up, never forget to look up wherever you are, because you're missing a lot of things otherwise. When you look up, it's quite stunning. And the first thing that really struck me was just how beautiful the ship was, because also just off there, you've got the Gallery Virtuosa, which is the long passageway with that massive LED screen up top. And when we came on, that had the Union Jack colours, and it is, I could lie on the floor, just look up and keep watching that screen because it's fascinated me. I haven't done it yet, there's too many people about, but it does fascinate me. So my first impressions of the ship were definitely, wow, this is beautiful. But the first thing I wanted to do was to go up to the cabin because I've got my hand luggage. I hadn't got any suitcases, I've only bought hand luggage. So I wanted to drop them off and then go and explore and get a drink and also get something to eat, because it was sort of one-ish at this time. So I came up to my room and the door was open. There was a sign on the door saying cleaning in process. And I thought, well, that's okay, because, I do expect that it might take a bit of time for it to be done. So I came in the cabin. There was no sign of a cruise card. I couldn't, because I hadn't got the cruise card, I couldn't get the lights on. So I quickly got changed, put something a bit more comfortable on, and decided then to leave my bags and I'd go off for a while. And am I doing this right now? So what I did was thought, well, I'll go down reception and just query why I haven't had a cruise card, because normally you would get it at check-in or you would find it at your door. So I didn't want to be wandering around and not have a cruise card, because I paid for a drinks package. I needed a drink. So am I boring anybody yet? Mary's not here, fortunately, because I'm blethering a bit. But anyway, I went down to reception, queued, and spoke to a lovely girl on reception. We haven't had the best dealings with receptions on ships we've been in, and I was actually really impressed with this girl. She was very professional, a beautiful smile, and she really put me at ease. And she said, no problem, I will print you another one off. So she printed me a cruise card off and told me that my room would be ready at 2:30 p.m. Now, I hope you're keeping up with me. So I went off exploring the ship and got a drink. Not easy, because it was chaos with everybody coming on. But I managed to get a drink, and I had a pina colada, and it was absolutely superb. One of the best pina coladas I've had on a ship. So full marks to MSC for their cocktail making. Oh, it's nice seeing you. Well, I can't see you, Dave, but anyway, it's nice speaking to you, and it's nice knowing you can see me. So I went off wandering the ship, and about 3:15 decided I would come back to the cabin. One, I was a bit hot and sweaty from the traveling, and I needed a shower. Now, I knew that this safety video was being played at 4 o'clock, and it's a bit unusual on MSC because everyone does it at the same time. There's no staggered timings. There is sort of no time to do it between. You've got to be in your cabin at 4 o'clock to watch the video. At the end of the video, there is a number that you have to call, and you then call that number, and it says, okay, you've been registered, now go to your muster point. So I came back to my cabin at 3:15, bearing in mind 2:30 it should have been done. And lo and behold, it was still in exactly the same situation. The door was ajar, still got cleaning in progress on it. Open the door, nobody in here. And I didn't mind the first time, but when I came in this time, it really got me down, because when I looked and saw all the mess on the floor, it was quite disheartening, because you want to come into a cabin and find it looking really nice, and most times you do. So I went to the corridor and no sign of a cleaner. And the other strange thing that I found a little bit strange was there were piles and piles of cases just in a row. They weren't outside specific cabins, so it's not like they'd been delivered to your cabin. They were just in a row, and people would come in, sort of looking through them and then taking theirs. And it was absolute chaos. And I thought, why can't they keep up with getting the luggage to the cabins? So a lot of the problems we found on the bigger ships, certainly with Iona and now on here, is that the amount of passengers really impacts on the service that you get. And so that was that. And I thought, well, there's no one to ask. I'm going to have to go back to reception. So from floor 12 down to floor 5, back to reception, and queued again. There was quite a queue. Queued again, got to the desk, and this time the service wasn't quite as good, I've got to say. The girl was proficient, but she wasn't very friendly, and she listened to me, got on her computer for about 2 minutes. Then she picked up her phone, made a phone call, put the phone down, and said, your room will be cleaned in the next hour. Now, bearing in mind it was now about 3:35, I said, what do I do about the safety video? How am I going to watch the safety video at 4 o'clock? Because if you don't go to your muster station, they cancel your card and you can't use the card. So the last thing I wanted to do was not do the muster. So I came back up and it was in the process of being cleaned. I think the second call she made at the desk, obviously to the supervisor, chased them up to do my room. So when I came back up, the cabin crew were here cleaning. Well, one lady was, bless her. And I stood outside 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I just stood there waiting, and there was no, it was getting close to 4 o'clock, and I was then starting to panic. So eventually there was a tannoy come over saying the video will start in 5 minutes time. So she finished. Unfortunately, when I came in, it hadn't started, but then the telly was saying your sauce has failed. So that was more stress because I didn't know whether that's how it should be before it starts, or whether there was a problem. But anyway, about 20 minutes after the 5 minutes they said the video would start, it started. Now, bearing in mind, it was now about 25 past 4. We'd still got to do muster, and I still hadn't had a shower, and my dinner was 5 p.m. So, oh, hello. Oh, that's my phone. Hold on. Hold on. What do they want? Somebody calling me. Hello? Yes. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, you certainly can send the person. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Oh, that's interesting. That was somebody saying, are you in? Can I send somebody to the cabin with something? So this could finish the story quite well. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so 20 minutes after the 5 minutes, he said it came on, and I watched it, and then I had to get to muster station L. And bearing in mind, everybody on the ship was going at the same time. It was absolute chaos. There was queues on the stairs. God help us if there was a real emergency. Queues on the stairs, total confusion where people were going. But I eventually got to where I had to go. Mine was the casino. But then you went in and they scanned your card. But then you had to walk all the way around the casino and back the other side. And there was a massive queue to get out. It was just beggars belief. It was absolutely awful. So anyway, what happened there? Oh, this gets worse. This is the bit that really upset me. I got back to my room, so by which time it was probably about 20 to 5, something like that. So I got 20 minutes to get ready for dinner, and I hadn't used the bathroom yet. So I went into the bathroom to use the toilet, and oh my God, it was horrific. I opened the toilet lid. There were, I won't describe what it was, but around the rim and the basin, there was pubic hair all around the rim. It was absolutely horrendous. And I was just so upset because I have paid money to come on this cruise, my hard-earned money, and I was just devastated that a room that I was really looking forward to being in. And you'll see when I put the video, when I first come in the room, I was quite happy with it, and it looked nice looking from the door to the bed. So I was really happy about it. And I didn't expect it to be clean when I first came in. So anyway, when I came back and found the toilet in that state, third time down reception, because again, there was nobody about. So down to reception, and I queued and eventually spoke to someone. And Oh no, hold on. Was this when? Yes, no, hold on. This gets worse. So the third time I went down to reception and it was all roped off. But there were two of the workers, the staff, on their computers, but it was all roped off. And so there was no queue, but there was the entrance. So I went and stood by there thinking, well, if I stand here, at least I'm going to be first when they do start again. And there was a chap that was sort of drifting round, and then somebody came behind me in the queue, and this chap that was drifting around, who obviously was a member of staff, spoke to them, bypassed me, spoke to them, and eventually when he finished speaking to them, I decided to, excuse me, and he said, oh no, they're closed because of the muster drill. I said, but I've got a problem. No, closed. And so I was thinking, okay, what do I do now? And he could see then that I was starting to get a bit upset and a bit fret because I was running late for dinner. I was unshowered. I was hot and bothered. And so, I really sort of started to get quite firm with him and said, look, this is not on. You know, it's nearly 5 o'clock and my cabin is disgusting and I'm going to be late for dinner. Then I've got the show. So I'm not going to have time to even shower and change. But anyway, we'll come to dinner because that didn't go quite to plan either. But anyway, so eventually he got his little book out and wrote in his book and didn't really show any empathy or anything at all. So I came back to the room, and when I got here, I'd been here 3 or 4 minutes, and there was a knock at the door, and it was the cleaner. Now, I do not hold the cleaner responsible at all, but I could see that she was clearly upset about it. And she said to me, I'm going to get a warning for this. Now, tugged on my heartstrings, I don't like to see people get in trouble, and I don't blame this woman. She said to me she was at work at 6 o'clock that morning, and they have to turn around so many cabins in such a short time. Now, bearing in mind, this was now 5 o'clock-ish that she was at mine, and she spent a good 15 minutes in the bathroom cleaning it. And then when she'd finished, she wanted me to inspect it to make sure that it was all good. But of course, I then felt really bad for her. But, you know, I paid money, but I asked to see her manager, and I said to him, look, I don't hold this lady responsible at all. She works hard. She's in a no-win situation because she's expected to do too much cleaning in a small amount of time. And clearly, I am not going to be the only person that gets in this situation, but for some reason this time it was me, but I'm sure there were others. Excuse me. So anyway, feeling really bad, I then decided that I just have to clean up the best I can and go for meal. So I turned up at I think it's Minuetto restaurant, which was my allocated restaurant. It was now about 5:25, and when I got to the door, there was a family there that should have been there at 5, and I should have been there at 5. And basically, the person at the door was not impressed. So, not wanting to lose it, I sort of explained the reason I was late. And so I said to her, look, I haven't showered. I don't feel good. I don't feel in a sociable mood. Can I please have a table on my own? So she went off, came back and said, follow me. And she took me to a table set for 6 people. And it had already got 2 people on it. I said, I'm sorry, but I really need to be on my own now. And at this stage, I was just like ready to leave the ship, and it was not a nice situation. So she took me back to see the maitre d', and she said, okay, I'll put you on a nice table. And fair due to her, she was very good, very pleasant, and she put me on a table on my own. And that was what I needed. Now, was that it? I think that was probably about it. After dinner, I came back to the cabin, and I was able quickly again to have a quick shower before going off to the theatre. And the rest of the evening was quite good, really. I enjoyed the theatre show. There was a female singer on who was very good, and I also went to the carousel to see the production there. There's lots of things with the ship that I can't understand. I really don't like not having a um, a booklet with activities and stuff on. It's all on the app, as is when you go to the restaurants. You have to scan a QR code to get the menu, and I just don't like that. I miss having the booklet, you know, to read. So it's very hard to work out what's going on. And I'm going to take some snapshots of MSC, my MSC, because it really isn't very good. I went, oh, because yesterday afternoon, I missed all this out. Anybody got any questions? I missed all this out because when I got on board, as soon as I got my cruise card, I thought I've got to go and book 2 shows at the carousel. I've got to go and book my spa treatment. And was that it? 3 things to book? I thought there was 4. Oh, I might remember the other. So anyway, I went to see somebody and said, where do I book the carousel shows? And I was sent to the carousel theatre. Got to the carousel theatre, there was nobody there. There was a few people working on the stage. So I went and asked them, and they said, oh no, you've got to go to this restaurant to book them. So I had to go to this restaurant, got there, and the woman said to me, oh, by the way, these won't appear on my MSC because we're a different private enterprise. Okay, so she wrote the times down for me and gave me that. But how daft that they don't go on. Oh, honestly, honestly, at the end of the day, I can't tell you how stressful it was. So it took me a while to book those shows. Then I went to the spa, and the woman there she was a bit abrupt, and it was like, oh, I've come to book a spa treatment. Now? You want it now? I said, no, I don't want it now. Well, we can do you now. I said, no, I don't want it now. I'm hot, sweaty. I said, can I do it tomorrow morning? 8:30 or 9? So that was it. I had to book 8:30 or 9. So not nice experience there, but I went for it this morning and it was so good. So that got my morning off to a great start this morning. But that was stressful, booking the carousel shows. And I'm sure there was something else I had to go and sort out. Oh yes, dining times. If you need to go and change your dining, then you have to go and get in a queue at one of the restaurants. And the queuing system was a little bit crazy. They send you into this restaurant. There's 2 or 3 people at desks that are dealing with people. They send you into the restaurant, and there's rows of chairs like you're in a theatre, and you just sit anywhere. They don't give you a number. They don't make a list. And how they knew who was next, I don't know. And eventually, it nearly happened, Eileen. Eventually, a family that came in after me just got up and went to the desk. And I thought, you know what, I'll stick with the dining room time I was given. So I left that at that. But that was awful as well. So I've done all the negative. No, because that's, you know, when you're on a 2-night cruise, you know, you've got so little time really, and I've got such a lot to do in the short time I've got. So to me, yesterday was just a stressful, horrible experience. There's lots of other things that I wasn't impressed with yesterday, and hopefully I'll get all these out on a video. But fortunately, today has been very different. I think because the weather when we woke up this morning was overcast and raining, and it wasn't nice, and I thought, oh, it's going to mean everybody's inside the ship. But fortunately, an hour later, the sort of sky turned blue, the sun came out, and that meant that a lot of people were on the top decks, and also a lot of people went on excursions, which meant it was a totally different experience today. The ship was just a pleasure to be on. I've walked around and filmed everything today, but I was able at times to stop and have a drink and, you know, there was no queues at the bar, and you know, there was even waiter service. And so it's been totally different today, and I've really enjoyed walking around the ship, and you know, it's been really nice. I did have to go back to reception this morning for one thing. Yeah, one thing. I checked my account last night before I went to bed, and I found a charge had been added on it for £9. And I thought, everywhere I have gone, I have always clarified I would like this on the easy package. But I went to the Infinity Bar, and for some reason I said, because mojito is included on easy package, can I have a mojito on the easy package? So I had this mojito, and I have to say it's the worst drink I've had on the ship. It was absolutely awful. I didn't drink it all, and that was the drink that they charged me £9 for. So when I went to reception this morning to query it, it was called a mojito something else. So I don't know yet. That she said they'll look into it. I don't know whether it's been removed, but I certainly didn't ask for it, so I'll be a bit annoyed if it isn't. But anyway, the chap that I thought was a bit abrupt and rude in the queue, I think he might be the manager of reception or something. He was there, and he turned to me and said, "Oh, you remember me from last night?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And he started to talk about the problems, and then one of his other staff came across, and while he was in mid-conversation with me, he turned and started talking to her. And things like that really annoy me, because if he'd have just said to me, "Oh, can you just wait a minute, or I need to deal with this," I wouldn't have had a problem. But the fact that he just cut me off and then went to her, I just thought wasn't particularly very good customer service. So I was a little bit sort of with that. But anyway, he did apologize afterwards, and you know, he has said they will offer a Goodwill. I don't really know what form that is. It's just a sour experience, really, but I think they've turned it round today. I know it's going to be different tonight, but I've got another 2 shows booked tonight, and I do like the shows. I was actually able to film in the main theatre last night, which was a big thing for me. I like to be able to film. I was away from everybody, so not disturbing everybody. My phone brightness is right the way down, so I do try and be considerate, but it was great to be able to film. And the show looks really good tonight. I think it's rock music, and it looks good, so I'm excited about that. And I saw Archimea in the carousel last night, and tonight I'm seeing Adagio, and some of the skills in the show last night. And I'm gutted that I wasn't doing the stream from there, because it is lovely, and it would have been perfect, because there are massive windows, so I'd have shown you out the windows. And also one of the girls turned up and started rehearsing on stage, and I thought, oh great, I'm going to be able to show that as well. And oh, hold on, door's here, watch this. Hello.
I'm sorry, your room is on D&D, but I have to give it to you.
Oh no, that's fine, sorry.
All
it's because I didn't want it clean this morning. I'll turn it off.
So can I keep it inside?
Yes, of course you can. Come on in.
Thank you so
Say hello to everybody, because I'm streaming at the moment.
Wow. So enjoy your drinks.
I don't know about drinking that on my own. I might have to take it home with me.
Please give me a moment. 1, 2. Take the glass very wisely.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I'm not going. Bye. Oh, that was good timing, wasn't it? Oh, I've got some champagne, I think, and I've also got a letter. So let's see what this says. Please accept this small gesture, as your satisfaction is our primary concern. Okay, so they sent me a bottle of champagne. Let me have a look. At least it's a gesture. What have we got? We have Rodrigo Molino. Don't really know what it is, but I think that will be going home with me. They brought 2 glasses. I suppose I could have 2 glasses at the same time. Anyway, where was I? So, at least they've recognised the problem and they've given me a goodwill gesture. So, I've forgotten where we were now. Anybody remind me? Right, where are we? Such a pity that first day was so disappointing. It was, you know, I think I really, really wanted to embrace MSC, and I certainly wasn't going to be overly critical on judging them on a 2-day booze cruise. And what really interested me is at the theatre last night, before the show started, the entertainments manager came out and he actually referred to the cruise as a booze cruise. He said, come on, you're on a 2-day booze cruise. And I was quite surprised that MSC were happy to state it as that. If they just said party cruise or something, I'd have probably understood it more. But, you know, everybody knows it's a booze cruise, but I'm surprised that MSC sort of state it in that way. But anyway, I wasn't going to judge MSC too harshly on a 2-day booze cruise as it is. I knew it would be busy. It's bank holiday weekend. The ship is at full capacity. And it certainly showed last night. It's been lovely today, and I think it's certainly going to show tonight. But I'm going to try, you know, put all yesterday behind and embrace it. Kerry, we found MSC were poor when it comes to customer service. The Virtuosa is a beautiful ship. You know, everywhere you go, the casino is, you walk in the casino and there's like a glass floor, and that's all. There's lots of lights and sparkles. Dave, you'd love it. Right. There is a very big cross section of people, Eileen. Oh, thanks, Knits and Pearls. Yes, please hit the like button, even if I'm boring you. There is a very big cross mix of people. Firstly, I'll say, despite it being a booze cruise, yes, there are party crowds. There are stags, hens. I saw somebody that was getting married today. There's people celebrating birthdays. In the restaurant last night, there were loads of birthday songs. And there is a party atmosphere in certain bars and places, but I have not seen any, you know, bad behavior, just people enjoying themselves. The problem is the amount of people enjoying themselves. And I think if you looked today how different it was, if you took 2,000 people off this ship and instead of having 6,200, I think it is, bring it down to about 4,000, this ship would be absolutely fantastic. You would get served everywhere, but of course they've got to make the money, so you can't blame them. I have seen, again, I haven't seen it on the My MSC. I happened to be passing a board yesterday and I saw that there was a solo get together. There's been nothing in my cabin or no invitation to me to go to a solo event. I just happened to see it on the board as I was passing, and at the same time I also saw that there was an LGBT meet. Now, I haven't been to either. I don't know if there's anything tonight. I've got to go on my MSC to get some snapshots of it. So hopefully I can show you how bad it is. It is absolutely dire, and I think it's such a shame that they don't do that. And it's the same with menus in the restaurants. I get they're trying to cut their paper down and, you know, all this, but it's just not the same. And I think it'll be sad when other cruise ships, because they will follow them and do away with their sort of daily newsletters. Well, they're not touching my luggage, John, because I am carrying it on and off myself. I've had my instructions for tomorrow. So these are my disembarking instructions. Now, the problem is, and I do get it, that their priority customers are the Yacht Club and the Blue Diamond and Diamond members, and then Aria Experience, and then Voyagers Club. And me, they then list them on decks. Now, you can get off the ship. The first getting off the ship is 7:15 in the morning. And to be quite honest, once I've had some breakfast in the morning, all I want to do is, get to the train and get home to Dave. Did you hear that, Dave? But I am not due to go off until I think it's 8:50. And you have to meet in there's a meeting point that you have to meet. I don't know if you probably can't see that, but I'll film it at some point. There's a meeting point you have to meet, and I don't want to wait till 8:50 to get off the ship. I want to be gone by 7:30. I want to be up, have my breakfast, and then go. I've got my own luggage. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to turn up when the priority members are going off, because they're priority for a reason. But the first, am I back? I pause then. So I am going back at 7:30 to try and get off then. So we'll see how that goes. How long have I been on? I don't even know what time it is. Because I do want to try and walk around the ship. I've got to be careful because there is music playing everywhere you go. And the minute it picks up any music, then I know I will get a strike. So probably it's not worth doing. I can show you my cabin instead. So it's not very tidy. Let's come out the way. So there's my bed. I have to say the pillows and the bedding is really nice. You've got two lights. Let's put some light on. I don't know whether it'll make much difference, but oh, not off. Oh, let's put the lights on there. Oh, didn't make a great deal. It is very dark in this room, so it didn't make a great deal, but you got the lamps each side. Have we got the USB underneath? I will do a full cabin tour, so I won't. Oh, there is a USB underneath the lamps as well, which is quite useful. So I've then got there. So you've got the drawer. I think the air dryer's in there. And this is a strange one. The minibar. So I've got the fridge, but surely they want to encourage people to have stuff out the minibar. So minibar. So even if I wanted something, I can't have it. I've been on 43 minutes. Thanks, John. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to stay here because I know that there is music playing everywhere, and it does cause a problem with copyright on YouTube. So it will get a copyright strike. So I've got the mirror, I've got the kettle, got water, I've got Coke that I've picked up when I could. Moving along, I'm not very keen on the telly where it is really. It's quite a long way from the bed, but I guess they've got nowhere else to put it. The phone's there. The problem with the phone, can you see the phone here, is it's so dark and I couldn't see what all these said. So when I wanted to ring reception, I couldn't because I couldn't see. Wardrobes. Oh, I hope I haven't got the undies on show. Plenty of storage space, quite happy with that. You've got a safe down there, which I haven't needed to use. Room for my two cases. Well, I've got a case and a backpack. So plenty of room in there. And moving forward, I like the little buttons on here. So you've got a do not disturb there. Do not disturb and clean my room. You've also got the air conditioning. I don't know why that's not on. Let's put it on. Oh, no, I don't want it warm. I want it cold. And then I'll show you the bathroom. Now, I know I had the problem with the bathroom yesterday, but I have to say that the bathroom is really nice. And it was such a shame it was like it was, because I've got no complaints with the bathroom at all. So let's put the light on. There we go. If I turn you that way and show you the bathroom. There we go. So plenty of towels. Nice shower. Not sure where we're going here. So you've got storage there. I tidied that up earlier in case I brought you in here. The sink. Then you've got another shelf under there. The toilet, which is a lot cleaner than it was yesterday. And the shower. And that's about it, really. I mean, it is what it is. It's an inside room. I say I do find it a little bit on the dark side. And so I do apologise there's not much light. But artwork, quite nice. Wouldn't choose it myself, but it's not offensive. I think that's about it, really. I had a decent night's sleep. There was a bit of noise in the corridor about 10 to 1 last night. But again, you expect that. And it was only one noise that I heard, some girl shouting and screaming. But anyway, it wasn't too bad. And as I say, the behaviour on the whole has not been bad. I've not, I can't moan about it. I think the big thing with the ship is just the sheer number of people on here is going to cause problems. Basically, because you can't get served anywhere. People can't keep up with things. So I think all the problems yesterday with the rooms, the luggage, the serving at the bar, meals, just felt a bit rushed. But food, let me talk about food. Food probably has not been the best. My meal last night in the restaurant was okay. I was quite happy with the meal I had in the restaurant last night. A lot of the food tends to be very dry. I had a burger at dinner time today and I only had 2 bites because it was just too dry. Breakfast this morning I had in the buffet and it wasn't very nice. Again, it all just seemed very dry. But I'm learning as a solo Welsh harp. Is that like a violin? Because of my moaning. Oh, excuse me. So I've lost some track again now, Eileen. So yeah, food, a little bit disappointing, but you won't go hungry. I think the thing for me is that lunchtime today, there was only one place you could get lunch, and that was the buffet, the marketplace. Or you could go to the poolside and there was pizza and burgers. So there wasn't a great deal of choice today. And breakfast was the same. I thought I'd be able to have breakfast at one of the restaurants, the main dining rooms. But they didn't open till 9:30. One of them opened at 9:30 till I think it was either 11:30 or 12:30 for what they called brunch. And that was too late for me for breakfast. So I had one option this morning, and that was the buffet. Have I fallen behind with anything? Let me just check. A group of girls from down yeah, I have to say there are a lot of groups of girls on here, a lot with bride and sort of hen party stuff on. There was even a doll being thrown around the sort of dance floor last night. I have to say, entertainers, there was 2 singers, like country and western singers, on in the atrium yesterday, and they were brilliant. I was really enjoying listening to them. There's a pianist being there. I'm going to really, I think, try tonight to get round the different bars and see what entertainment there is. I've got 2 shows, so I'm not going to have a great deal of time, but I want to go and see. I discovered places on my walk around today that I hadn't seen before, so I want to go and see. Oh, have I fallen behind? We found the food was very poor quality. I agree with you, Maureen, very poor quality. And I think it's all right for me. I'm only on 2 nights. I mean, personally, I would rather get off 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, find somewhere in Southampton to have breakfast before I get the train back. And I would quite happily do that. In fact, knowing me and Dave had breakfast in the Dunhelm at Telford a week or so ago in the Pausa Cafe, and it was really good. So I would probably even be inclined to walk to Dunhelm, which is right opposite the train station, go there for breakfast. But saying that, they might not open till 9, might they? Anyway, that might be a possibility tomorrow. We will see. But the food, yeah, it really hasn't been brilliant. Probably, definitely way worse than P&O and Morella, and bottom of the pile for food. But they're mass, you know, they're having to mass produce. Lynn and Dave, yes, P&O, so much better than MSC. They had a lot more things right. I think today has sort of been a lot more positive for me so far. I think tonight, I think I probably feel reassured that I've had my money's worth out the drinks package. So even if I can't get a drink tonight, I know I will get a free one in the carousel show. But honestly, I had a free one last night. They sell it as show with a free cocktail, and it was horrendous. So I don't even feel like going and picking one up tonight, because I think I had 2 sips and can't drink that. It was absolutely awful. So don't be thinking if you go to the show, well worth it. Don't worry about the drink though, because it wasn't good. I feel sorry, Maureen, if you had 12 nights on there and you had 12 days of that food, because you know I'm quite happy that 2 days I'm going back. I'm sure Dave will cook me a nice meal when I get home on Monday. Billy, I hadn't seen you. Hi, Billy. I hope you're okay. We must be getting near the hour now. My Apple Watch has, oh, it hasn't, not quite yet. Oh, nearly 2 minutes. So I think really we'll sort of come to an end shortly. And I've got the videos. The problem is for us, we've got all the P&O videos. So I don't really want to be mixing the two together. So the MSC I'm going to try and do, but wait to start putting them out until we've finished P&O. But I know, Dave, are you still working on that video? Dave's doing a tour video, so hopefully that will be out in the next week. I think probably I won't be cruising again now for a while. We've got enough to keep us going. Wait for P&O to finish. Yeah, I think you're right, Dave. I think it's no good doing MSC here and then P&O and then MSC and then P. It will just not be right. So they're in the pipeline. As soon as we've done P&O, then I will put the MSC stuff out. I just must get them ready to go out, because otherwise I will forget a lot of information. And I think some of my footage yesterday is going to need editing. Dave, how's my girl Lily? I'm missing her as well. Shall I just talk very briefly about cruising solo? I think the thing with cruising solo, it's probably slightly different for me being a vlogger, because I do feel like I'm sharing my experience. I might not be sharing them at the time, but I'm trying to record experiences so that I can share them. And so I think if I didn't have that, the hardest thing being a solo cruiser would probably be the fact that you haven't got somebody, unless you meet other solos on ship, which I know a lot of people do, to share those experiences with. And the other big thing I found today was when you're in places like the buffet, is it's very hard to keep a table when you've got to get up and go and get something else. So you have to try and get everything at the same time. And I find that, or I've been finding that by the time I get back to the table and got everything, the food's gone lukewarm. So that's not been the best experience. But I think I would struggle for longer than sort of a few days. I don't think I'd like to go solo for a week. I think probably I had a good experience on the train on the way down. I was sat and 2 chaps were behind, and they both got on separately. And the one chap was going solo on the Norwegian Fjords cruise with P&O. And these 2 chaps struck up a conversation in Birmingham, and they talked all the way down to Southampton. And both the chaps were single solo travelers, and I just thought, you know, that is what you've got to do. You've got to, you know, be prepared to talk to people and make the effort. John, I wouldn't have put it quite like that, but that fits quite well. You know, and I thought that's what you got to do. That's sort of the thing as solo travelers, talk to people. And people on this ship have been quite friendly. I've talked to quite a few people, and you know, I think if you make the effort, people are nice. Oh, by the way, have you seen my t-shirt? I don't know whether you can see. There you go. There, look. And then if you look in the mirror, hey, we've got Mida travel t-shirts now. So I've been wearing that around the ship today, and that gets people talking to you. So that's quite nice. Does that mean? Well, Eileen, all you got to do. The problem is getting a good deal solo, isn't it? You know, solo is still hard to get a good deal. She's a pain. You telling me Lily's a pain? Lily's not a pain. I guess I'm used to it. Yeah, so you can, Eileen, but be prepared to pay a premium, depending on who we go with, of course. Right, I think it's definitely time for me to perhaps call it a day. My watch battery's nearly gone. I can't. Oh, it's 4:02. So I'm trying to think. I've got dinner at 5. So quickly get ready. I don't want to be rushing like last night. And I'll go and try dinner again tonight. See if I can grab the same table, because it was a good table. And we'll see. Maybe I should make the effort tonight. What do you think? Should I go on a table with other people, or should I ask for the same table on my own as I did last night? I'm happier tonight, and hopefully I'll be cleaner. So yeah, maybe tonight I should try another table. I will sleep in the bath. There's a slight problem, Eileen. Cruise ships don't tend to have baths. You can sleep in the shower, but I don't think it'll be very comfy. Oh, thanks, Swede. Yeah, I'm sort of, it'd be nice going home tomorrow. Excited to get home to Dave and Lily, so something to look forward to. And then I know Dave is going to cook me a nice meal. I might need it after 2 days food on here. So one thing though, it's like coming to MSC, I'm less likely to put on weight. Oh, because there's one other gripe. Can I just, one more gripe before I go? The lifts. Thank you, Kerry. I am looking forward to tonight. Oh, I haven't been putting comments up, have I? Tell I don't normally do this. Enjoy tonight and hope you put off. Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to try anyway. Yeah, I'm going to tell them I've got a taxi booked or something, and I don't think they'll stop me. I'm carrying my own luggage off, so what's one more person? Sooner I can get off, the better, really. I haven't checked train times yet, but I'll do that later. Yeah, is that good? Why is I doing this? I don't know what you mean there, Dave. Oh, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, it's been a bit of a rant, really. We've missed not having Dave on the side. Hopefully he'll be on the next one. And yeah, the lifts. I was just going to say quickly about the lifts. Oh my God, I don't like them. You go to the lifts, there's about 3 each side. So there's about 6 lifts. And there's a keypad, one keypad, and you have to put the floor that you're going to. It then comes up with which lift you need to go to. And you do that. You go to the lift you're to go to, and 10 minutes later, you're still waiting, and you think, shall I go and walk? Which I have done quite a few times. Sort of, if it's no more than 3 floors, I thought, you know what, I can't be asked waiting. So I've gone up by stairs. So I'm probably not going to put on much weight. But yeah, and the lifts, the problem is with the lifts is it tells you what lift to go to, but it doesn't tell you where it is. So you can't see how close it is to getting to you. And I found that really frustrating. But I have found the panoramic lifts. Now, the panoramic lifts are not, they're sort of slightly hidden away. And the interesting thing with the panoramic lifts is that they have got, you can see what floor the lift is on. It hasn't got this keypad, bloody fancy rubbish. So I've started to try and use those where I can, and I've got one just down the corridor from me, so that's a much better option for getting round. Right, last comment. Enjoy the rest of the cruise, Mike. Great chat tonight. Party cruise probably doesn't show the best of MSC. And I was fully expecting that, Stuart. I wasn't going to judge them, not so much on the quality and the cleaning of the room, but I wasn't going to judge them on the amount of people and the atmosphere, the noisy atmosphere around the ship, because a 2-day cruise with hens, stags, and party crowds on is not going to be the same as a 7-night med cruise with them. So yeah, I wasn't going to judge them. Whether I would want to go with MSC again, I don't know. If they got smaller ships, it really does worry me about the future of cruising, that they're going to these super-sized ships. And I'm happy on the Marella 2000 capacity, and that just never seems to be crowded or queuing. So I don't know. MSC, maybe a long time in the future. I might like to bring Dave. I actually think Dave would quite enjoy it because he likes a party. But we'll see what I can get around tonight. I'm off. I've got to go quickly shower, go for dinner. Hopefully it's better than last night, and I will get home tomorrow and I will put a Facebook on, let you know how I'm getting on. So thanks everybody for coming today. Really appreciate it. I'm sorry about the start. It was a bit frustrating, but it's just one of those things. And as I say, I was gutted I couldn't do it where I wanted to do it from. But anyway, take care, everybody. Dave, I love you. Everyone else, big hugs, and hopefully see you soon. Bye, everyone. Go for dinner. Oh, I have to end this first, though. It takes ages. End. Once more.